guys, it's Alicia. Now today I am going to be making a birthday cake for my daughter, and I thought I would show you the basic vanilla cake recipe that I used to make that. Now this vanilla cake is probably my favorite vanilla cake recipe. It is moist, delicious, and it has just a really great vanilla flavoring to it. It's also pretty easy to make as far as cakes from scratch go. So if you want to see how I make my vanilla cake, then just keep watching. So what you're going to need for this is 2 3/4 cups flour, 1 3/4 cups granulated sugar, a cup of milk, a cup or 2 sticks of butter, 4 eggs at room temperature, 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and in here I have 2 1/4 teaspoons baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon salt. And that is all that you're going to need to make the cake. So the first thing that we're going to do is cream our butter. So I'm just going to throw that in to my mixer here. And then I'm going to beat this for probably about 3 minutes. You want to make sure it gets really well creamed. That looks good. So now I'm going to add my sugar to this. And now I'm going to go ahead and just mix this really well for probably about another 3 minutes to get the butter and the sugar well incorporated together. And while you're mixing your butter and your sugar together, you want to go ahead and turn on the oven to preheat it at 350. And then as you see here, I've got my cake pans and I've prepared them. And this is a really important step in order to keep your cake from sticking to the bottom of the pan. All I did here was spray the bottom of the cake pan with a little cooking spray, and then I cut out a piece of wax paper, put that on the bottom of the pan, and then sprayed that again. And like I said, this is just gonna keep your cake from sticking. And then also, while your butter and sugar are mixing, you can go ahead and take your salt and baking soda and add those to your flour. And then you just want to stir this all together really, really well and then set it aside. I've got this nice and creamed together, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 egg at a time to this and mix well after each egg that you add in. I've got the eggs all mixed in here, so now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of the flour, about a cup or so. I'm going to mix that, and then I'm going to put in some of the milk, and I'm going to just alternate back and forth between adding the milk and the flour, ending with the flour. I've got the flour and the milk all mixed in, so now I'm gonna add my vanilla and I'm gonna mix that well. All right, I got that all mixed together, so now I'm gonna pour it into these pans and try to be as even as I can, which is always difficult for me, but I'll do my best. I've got these about as even as I can in the 2 pans, and so now I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the oven, and I'm gonna start them out probably at about 25 minutes. I haven't made this recipe since I got this new oven, so I'm not entirely sure on how long it's gonna take to bake, but I will check them at 25 minutes and see where I'm at. I'm gonna make my frosting for this cake right now, and I thought I'd show you real quick how I do that. I just use the Wilton recipe for buttercream icing anytime I'm going to be doing any type of decorating with my frosting. And since this is my daughter's birthday cake, I will be doing some sort of decorating. I'm not sure what yet. So what you need for this is a 1/2 cup of shortening, And I just use Crisco. Put that in there. And then a 1/2 cup of butter or margarine. And you want your butter softened if you're using butter. So then what you're gonna do is just blend this together really well. And now I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now if you're wanting your frosting to be white, you probably want to use the clear vanilla, but I'm gonna be dyeing mine most likely, so I'm not gonna worry about using clear vanilla. So then you're just gonna mix this well together. Now you're gonna mix in 4 cups of confectioner sugar or powdered sugar. You wanna just do one at a time so that you don't get it all over the place. I've got all of my sugar mixed in. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of milk. And then I'm gonna just beat this again until the icing is nice and fluffy. And that is what it looks like when it's done. It is nice and fluffy. It is a great consistency for decorating cakes, which is why I like to use it when I decorate any type of cake. It pipes really well, and it actually tastes really, really good too. I'll leave the ingredients and the measurements for this down below, as well as for the cake. Okay, it's been 35 minutes, so it definitely took a little longer than I thought. The time I have for these is 25 to 30 minutes, but my old oven cooked a little hotter, I think. So anyway, it's been 35 minutes. I stuck a toothpick in them and it came out clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and take these out of the oven and let them cool for probably about 5 minutes before I take them out of the cake pans. I waited about 5 minutes and I took these out of the cake pans, and I just wanted to show you how nice they come out when you use the parchment paper. Now that's the parchment paper right on top there, but they came out completely clean out of the pan. So now I'm just gonna pull the parchment paper off of here, and I'm gonna let these cool for probably a couple hours or so before I decorate them. And here it is decorated. If you can't tell, my daughter loves Godzilla. So I just did this cake in the colors of her YouTube profile picture and name. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. I'll show you what it looks like inside once we cut it. Okay, here it is, cut. Let me give it to the birthday girl here and she can try it. Let me know what you think.
All right, we're gonna take some of the cake board here. Very nice.
Very nice.
It's a tough girl. It's not too moist, but I also just had ice cream, so it's good. It's like a perfect level. And now I'm gonna try my frosting. Good frosting, not too rich, but it's nice and sweet, but not overly sweet. So she did a great job, and it looks beautiful too.
So you like your cake?
I do.
Okay. And you like this cake recipe? I love this cake recipe. I think it's delicious. All right, there we have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.